Finally, the day has come when the Harley restoration project will begin. It was about time, wasn't it? Hello and welcome again to the Caravan Doctor. Whilst I'm wrapping up all my filming stuff, I would like to take a couple of minutes and explain to you what we're gonna do from now on. Let me just grab my chair. As a beginning in this brief video, I think it's well deserved for you guys to know what my idea is with the Harley. You've heard me talk about it quite a bit in the recent episodes, and all of this has happened because of that motorbike. I've always had the dream to own one, maybe a little bit bigger if I have to be absolutely honest, but that does not mean that this one is not going to bring me any joy. As you can see, I've taken the majority of the bits out so I can show you what we ended up with. But before that, let me just point you out how nice the black beast says and the little pink beast next to it, because my little assistant is constantly here when I have the bike out, which is actually quite a nice thing. But this is how we've ended up with the garage looking. Don't pay attention to these things because they will move over here and a couple of them will go down in the front. But this is now the place where we're going to start our operations. And what I'm thinking of doing is, first of all, thinking about how am I going to work when the weather's bad outside? Because now it's perfect. I just pull it out, get my little rotating chair and work nice and comfortably outside. But when it's raining, I'll need to be in here. For this purpose, I'll have to think about purchasing a bike jack, which there's a couple of opportunities there. I've actually had a thought about a more compact one, which you just put underneath and jack the bike up. This way I can slide it basically to the left or to the right, depending on which side of the bike I'm working. Or getting a proper hydraulic jack, which is with a table, so to speak, that the bike goes on. You jack it up as much as you can. It'll probably go, if I want to compare, maybe just below the height of this chair, which is waist height. But that will take a massive amount of the garage. Basically, the table is sort of like 600 wide to 2.1, with the ramps is 2.3. But if I put it in there, I will be able to move it in, out, left, right, just because of the wheels are multi-directional spinning, which will be comfortable if I want to take the whole bike out, even when it's stripped out. Because let's be fair, once I take the wheels out, they ain't going back on before I actually get all the components redone, looked at, and then start the actual reassembly. What I think will be very beneficial and will help me through the process of trying to understand how this bike works and how to split it to pieces, in plain words said, and also how to maintain it properly and what do I have to do regularly to keep it in shape. I've purchased something which is very interesting, for me at least. This, which is a manual. As funny as it sounds, you remember the old car manuals? Exactly the same. So what this is apparently the best manual that you can get, or at least that's what the internet tells you. Even PT tells you this, to be fair, where I totally agree that the motorbike shops and the specialized places will not go to a book like this. But me, being a newbie in this area, I think it's not bad to have it. What this actually is a climber manual for Harley-Davidson XL Sportsters from 2004 till 2013. But the thing that is not said on the main page is that this covers as well XLH, which is our one. What can we find under the pages of something like this? It's quite a bit of information, to be fair. General information in chapter 1, then you start going through troubleshooting, lubrication, maintenance, engine top end, lower end, primary drive, clutch, external shifting mechanism, transmissions, fuel, emissions control, exhaust, electrical systems, wheels, front suspension, rear suspension, service information, brakes, which is actually why I purchased this book in the first place. Not with the general idea of splitting the whole bike apart, because to be fair, there's quite a bit of information on YouTube, and I've watched through countless videos now to try and understand how the whole process works and which approach is better than the other one. Because you've got different people taking all sorts of different ways of splitting this motorbike. I actually quite fancied a video which was an hour and a half long, but explained the story of a motorbike of this size, exactly the same cubic engine and everything. Person took it into a shop in America, obviously, and whilst purchasing a new house, in the garage he found another frame, which is exactly for the bike he had. Well, that frame looked in a very, very well condition, far better than the one he had. So what he wanted to do is take everything off his old bike frame and transfer it into the new one. So that video actually showed the process of splitting components fully and then putting them onto the new frame, which is very helpful to me, and I'll be going back to that video countless times, I assure you. But getting back to the book, brakes, which are chapter 13, let's just quickly flick through there. As you can see, we've got everything, the triple tree, all the information that we could probably need, with Newton meters as well, which is very important if you ask me, because the manufacturer specifications need to be followed. People with a lot more brain capacity have thought about this and decided that this is the right way we need to do it, so let's listen to them. And then here we go into chapter 13, which shows us the whole brake system. Went too far. Here's what we're interested in, the calipers and the way they operate. So what we're gonna do for our one is use this book, which helped me to get to this stage. Basically, it was hard to distinguish what kind of fixing did I needed for the back caliper. Let me show you. I've shown it before, but just so we get back to the correct page, we've got the back pin, which does not have nuts or anything around it. As you can see, it's just covered up with a rubber sleeve there. And we're missing the front one, but the actual thread does not look bad, or we might kick up into another problem. Let me just grab something. Let me just take some brake cleaner, Holt's brake cleaner. Let me just see something, because I'm starting to have a bad feeling about this. It's a bit dirty, but it kind of looks like the thread is a bit stripped, which is not good. Not good at all. Let me see the bolt. So coming up to the book, I managed to find out that this is the type of bolt I want. So finding what this needs to be, I've started looking around through the local shops, which I think I've mentioned in one of the previous videos, said that they don't do them because they are imperial-sized motorbikes. They're not like the European brands, which are metric. So I had to start searching, and they kindly pointed to the right direction, which was a Harley-Davidson specialist just a little bit further up than I live, in Stamford. I rang up just to check if they're working on that particular Saturday. I went over there and met up with Matt from Matchbook Customs. He managed to help me out source the right part, which I thought was only the issue back then, but looking at this now, I'm starting to get a little bit more worried. But nevertheless, this is the part, and it only costed me £5, which is very well for the budget, because we will keep track of what's going on with the budget that this bike takes. Yes, I would like to have a note of what I'm spending and how much did the work on the bike costed me at the end of this journey, because it'll be very helpful for me to see how much my skills managed to save money and how much I can use the already owned parts on the actual bike, rework them and put them back on the bike. I believe that will be a major saver, but only time can tell us. And yeah, like I mentioned, we're gonna use the information that we can take out of this manual, the information that we can grab from Matt, and try and see how much of this motorbike refurbishment I can do myself. Obviously, if I end up needing assistance from a professional, I will gladly turn over to them and ask for their services. But in the beginning, we're gonna try and do it ourselves. But in the meantime, like I've mentioned before, and for the ones of you that actually listen to what I'm saying, I might have a bike, but I don't have a license yet, which is another problem. I have started though, let me show you. I have started though, going through this, which is the official app for the DVLA that can help you train for your motorbike license. And by that, I mean you need to be able to pass your theoretical test, then go for a CBT, a little bit of time with instructor, and following that, when the instructor feels that you're comfortable and confident enough in yourself, module 1 and module 2. And if all that rounds up correctly, we're gonna have a motorbike license. That's why I'm gonna take the opportunity to start the works on the bike whilst I get prepared and go through my Category A direct access license. I probably didn't word that correctly, but doesn't matter. Let's figure out together where we're gonna end up to and how is the whole Harley-Davidson renovation project gonna go. But for that to happen, we need an official start, which is exactly this video. So let's skip all the other explanations, which will happen as we go further into my project. And as a little bonus today, let's see if the part I've purchased will help us, or are we gonna straight jump into a new caliper, which is gonna boost up the expense book from the very beginning. So there it is, pin bolt, greasy, which is good. Does it look the same? I believe so. And how does it work? So this bolt fits into where I've shown you already on the bike. We ain't gonna go through all the different sketches here because it's got different components. And how do we check them? we're gonna jump straight to the back of this chapter, which shows us rear caliper mounting bolt pin. Here we go, 21 to 24 Newton meters. Let's see first what socket will fit here and if we're gonna be able to put it on at all. I'm really hoping the thread is not stripped. We'll need some sort of extension, so let's go for the 3/8. 14, of course it's gonna be something weird. 14, very unusual size if you ask me. So here we are, let's just see how that thing is going to fit. The problem with this is that we'll need to get it to align rather good. What's going on here? I don't know how well you're gonna see, but you see that brake pad is out of its place, so we'll have to place it back in. Front one's all right, but the back one is not in the correct spot at all. How am I gonna get in there? It needs to stay in its place. The problem I've got is that the actual caliper does not want to shift, and these screwdrivers are very long. Okay, I think some other tools are gonna need to be purchased later on in time, which my missus is not gonna be really happy about. Okay, I think we're gonna get there. Alrighty. Okay, just wants to go down now. Is that where it wants to be? Okay, I think we're sat in the right spot now. As you can see, this is starting to align. And on the back side, this brake pad is back in its place. I don't know how well you can see it down there, but it's sitting where it's supposed to be sitting. Very good. Let's see what we can do about the bolt now. This should be aligned correctly, at least. So I want to tighten it back up just to see what's going on. And then I'll undo it because I've got the little rubber sleeve which fell off. Plus I want to see what's happened with the thread. It's really hard to distinguish. Feels like half of it is stripped. Maybe there's just dirt in the channels. Can't really say. Okay, where have I left this rubber sleeve now? 100% sure I've left it here somewhere, so I don't throw it away with the nails. Okay, now this is not very cool. Hence why I wanted all of this to be free for parts, because this is only one little rubber cover. Imagine when I start taking amounts of parts off it, it's gonna get ridiculous. I do need to find where it is though, but worst case scenario, I'll have to purchase a new one, which is not the end of the world, but it just means that I'll have to undo it again. But maybe for the purpose of this trial, we tighten it up without it. But what we need to do to be able to center the caliper where it needs to be, I'll have to get my lovely assistant to give me a hand. Okay, the lovely assistant is gonna step here when I tell her and hold it until I say so. Okay, press. And now we wanna put it on 24 meters. Let's just see where it is. 23 plus 1. And we've got a problem already, I can feel it. Okay, I don't know if you saw that, but I felt it. This just turned over. There was no resistance, 24 Newton meters, which is nothing, literally nothing. New caliper. At least I got the bolt for it. So that is not a great start. Apparently, this bolt has not just fallen off, someone undone it. It's probably shot out like a bullet while someone was riding it before, because the thread is stripped out of the caliper. So what do we need to do now is contact Matt, see what price is gonna be for a caliper. Hopefully it's not £300, because it's not going to be a new part, that's for sure. And maybe I'll have to fall into deep search again, because I've already entered some Harley-Davidson owners groups. I'll have to post in there probably and see if someone's got one that he's willing to sell for a reasonable price, because I don't want to jump first steps with £300 for a caliper. The whole idea in my head is to get the bike operational. And by operational, mean that to be able to ride it, to have brakes, enough power, fire it up, working normally, and then start on the actual split work, because I want to be sure for myself that the bike is operational before any dismantling happens. And the only thing I want to do this is because I want to identify if there's any problems or something like this stripped thread on the caliper from now. Otherwise, later down the line, if I start reassembling or notice something that is not okay, I will not be able to say if that was the state of the bike before, or did something happen while I was doing works on it. That is the purest reason I want to do all these checks and put the bike into movable condition before I actually start. But just as a little bonus, because I thought today we were going to be able to put this bolt and we're going to have finally brakes. Let's see if the bike actually runs and how many miles does it have on the clock. I know how many are the miles, but you don't, and you're going to get shocked by it. First of all though, a little bit of petrol. Let's put some in there and we're going to see if the bike actually fires. Okay, key in place. First, second. Are these on now? No, they're not. But let's see. Will it run? Stupid immobilizer. I don't know what's happening with this, but it keeps flashing. Now it stopped. Yeah, let's try it again. Key. Stop flashing. I think the battery is probably dead on this thing. Yeah, I have a suspicion that this is probably gone. Battery on it. We need to get it working. Come on. I don't know if you can see it, but no. Now it goes on and on. Okay, and as you can see, this is on the on position, but I can take the key out. That is not great. Let's try it again. Might be some of the other assistants, the smaller assistants. It's not going at all. I honestly do not know why. I can hear the fuel going in there. You see now why do I want to do this? There it goes again, and now it goes off. It's not want to start now. I've seen it running when I purchased it, but I haven't done it myself. So here you go. A little surprise. It was going to be a nice surprise, but it ended up being a bad surprise of something that is not working. Battery probably needs charging, so battery off. This key needs to get chucked in the bin, and we need to put a new one. This wants its battery replaced, and then hopefully we can get it to work. But all these things, my friends, are gonna be part of the future episode of the Harley-Davidson restoration, which I encourage you to follow so you don't miss what happens with the works that are gonna take place on this bike. Thanks for joining me today on the official start of the works on the motorbike. I'll see you in the next one. And stay tuned with the Caravan Doctor.